What's good, y'all? It's your boy Dev back again. Please ain't. We have 3 more videos left for the list. We have honorable mentions, which this is this video, obviously from the title of the video, and then we have top 25 tracks of 2019, and then we have the top 10 albums of 2019. A lot of these albums that I'm going to mention, you know, I was really contemplating on putting them in my top 10 list. It was really hard, but at the same time, they have a special place, you know, for me because I said this. Look, 2018 was a great year in music, in hip hop, you know, in general. It was just a great year for music. 2019, I said it was kind of lackluster, but it still had its high points. You know what I'm saying? I liked a lot of the shit now that I look at my list, I liked a lot of things that released this year. It just, you know, it's really hard when you think about it. You know, something has to be the worst. Look, you can have 5 Kendrick Lamar albums, right? And one of them has to be the worst album. There's a worst and there's a best. A lot of people don't really understand that concept. Anyways, been fucking talking too much, man. Let's get right into the list, man. All right, man. So the first one I gotta say, man, is Rotti Rich, Hate Being Antisocial, man. I listened to this yesterday, right? And I could see what you guys were saying. I couldn't put it in my top albums because I didn't have enough time to ponder on it. When I do release my first listen video, you guys gonna understand why. I don't want to give too much away. Just know that it was a great album. The Box, I can kind of see what you guys were saying. I was gonna get hyped. You guys are gonna love that shit. War Ready was another track that was really fire. If there's another track I can't really think that had like a really gospel feel. I feel like it's just a lot of soul with them. There's a lot of realness that exudes from Rotti Rich, and I can tell that he's gonna be a little different. A lot of people said I live under a rock because I haven't listened to Rotti Rich. They're like, how you not listen to Rotti Rich? He's on the XXL. Just because he's on the XXL, that's not even saying too much because who the fuck gives a fuck about the XXL nowadays? The next one I want to talk about is Cowboy Wild Boy. A lot of people really didn't listen to this project. I did a video on it and a lot of people didn't watch it, but it's okay because I loved this project, man. I felt like Cowboy gave me the same feels that I got from Rotti Rich. You know what I'm saying? Just a real up north artist. I think he's from Chicago. I think a lot of people told me he was from Chicago. The album, for it to be such a trap, it was a trap album, right? But it was so soulful, and it was basically him, you know, using his melody, using his vocals of what he does have. He's not a singer, he's a rapper. But I felt like it got straight to the point, man. We got his main track, Envy Me, that released. Everybody was going crazy over that. I don't know if Envy Me made it to TikTok, but Envy Me came out, and I just remember hearing for the first time on Instagram, and I'm just like, who is this kid? This kid just speaking from the trenches, speaking from the dirt, coming from nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, again, when people are talking about their experiences, talking about their struggle, you know, you're just going to relate to that. Especially, like, a lot of the people that are from that environment, they're going to relate to that, and that sells. So even though he didn't have one of the best albums this year, I feel like he did what he needed to do for his debut album. He followed up from the one-hit wonder Envy Me, because that's what I really thought he was going to be, a one-hit wonder. Which was not the case at all. Next album I want to get at is FKA Twigs Magdalene. She's very weird. She's very weird. In a good way, though. And she's very attractive. I've seen her live shows, man. Like, the way she just sings to her audience. The way she just seduces you with her presence. I don't know, man. She's one of those artists where she's going to be weird, but it's going to work out in her favor. Not a lot of people can pull out that weird card. And I feel like she knocks that down to the T, man. The album is full of synths. It's full of spacey sounds. Full of just very different shit. And I think that's the one thing where that stands out for FKA Twigs. She's very distinct. She has the sound, and she created her own sound to work out for her. I don't even know what you call that. Do you call it like electronic techno R&B? Is it like alternative techno R&B? I don't know what you want to call it. Maybe alternative electric R&B. I guess that's what you would call it. She just created something really good, and not having that many features on there as well. I know a lot of people highlight the track with Future. I think the one track that really stood out for me was Mirrored Heart. That's the one that she was doing that one, and then when the bass comes in, it kind of comes in with a distorted sound, like that shit was hidden. I love Mirrored Heart, man. That was one of my favorite tracks on that tape. But I felt like, as a whole, for me, I just couldn't get through it. It really was a time and place for me thing, so that's kind of what I put on my honorable mention. The next album I want to talk about is Ariana Grande, Thank You Next. We got Thank You Next last year, the single. We got that last year in 2018. It made my top 25 or top 31. Yeah, top 31 tracks of the year. Thank You Next. Y'all can't lie. Whatever you guys want to say, man, I'm not just a hip-hop rap listener. I listen to a lot of different shit. So it's a one thing if you do not like you know, another genre, or you dislike, you know, the songs for whatever reason, that's cool. I respect that. But what I can't get down with is when some hip hop rap, you know, head that doesn't listen to or is not open to any other genre wants to come in my, you know, top album section and says, hey, Ariana Grande, really? Ariana Grande album is better than, you know, JID? I mean, if you want to talk about numbers, yes. And if you want to talk about in their own right of what they do in pop music and rapper, I would say that Ariana Grande is on a different scale than a JID. Just my opinion. Rap is not the only music genre out there. But that's besides the point. Ariana Grande, man, she made a great album. You will see one of her tracks on my top 25 list. I'm not going to say it right now, but I just feel like this was her best project yet. I know that she kind of just... she had a little bit of rap, a little bit of culture, I would say, in her album this year. I want it. I got it. I want it. You know, everybody saying that was Soulja Boy. She was still in Pretty Boy Swag from Soulja Boy. I didn't think that it did have the same cadence, but I didn't think it was, you know, that similar. She had Needy on there. She had the Spaceship song. What else song? She had Ghostin'. Ghostin' was another track that was crazy from her, the tribute to Mac Miller. I feel like this just was her best project overall in terms of the audience. I feel like this one can even hit people like me. It definitely grabbed the attention of a lot of people that I know that would never listen to a Ariana Grande project, because I felt like her previous projects were, you know, very mainstream pop. This one right here, man, definitely had a lot of relatability though, man. I everything she was speaking about, not from a girl to boy perspective, but from a guy to girl perspective, I kind of see where she was coming from. You know what I'm saying? Like I had a girl one time, you know what I'm saying? She was like, you know, wanted me to fucking break up my girlfriend and shit. Like, you know, I get that. And then, you know, like the Ghostin' track that was tribute to Mac Miller, I feel that. Like, she was kind of going through it. You can hear that. Needy was another one where, you know, you can feel needy where you really want somebody and, you know, you're just trying to do your best to kind of just stay calm. You guys watch You, right? You guys watch You on fucking Netflix. You guys see how that show's going right now? Dude just doing everything he can to get the girl. Maybe a little psycho. He is psycho, man. Not a little bit. He may be psycho, but, you know, he's, at the end of the day, it's all good intent from bad intent. All right, now that we got it out the way, man, now we can kind of get into your guys' favorite projects, kind of, and, you know, more of the rap side. I'd say that 2 Chainz has never failed me when it came to an album. You know, he kind of just missed it this year on the top album because he did have it earlier on in the first half, but he had me earlier in the first half. But the second half, it kind of really died down for me. I think he had a lot of features on there. Ty Dolla $ign, Kendrick Lamar, Pharrell on the production. He just had a lot of, you know, 2 Chainz tracks. I mean, that's all I can really say about it. You know, just very generic 2 Chainz tracks that we usually get every year. Bangers, always going to have bass hitting. Always going to have funny punchlines, but punchlines at that. I just think that for me, something is missing for 2 Chainz to kind of just be that top tier rapper. He's just very consistent. He's like a very good, consistent rapper. I just don't think he's top tier. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he's just like B tier, which is not a bad thing. He's making his money. He's still a millionaire. I just feel like, let's see. I'm trying to think of who I could compare 2 Chainz, you know, to like an old rapper that we used to have. 2 Chainz is like Ludacris. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly who he is. He's like Ludacris. You know, always making great albums. We're always going to go back to a 2 Chainz project and we're going to enjoy it. But it's just something for me that's not pushing him over the top. Next one I want to mention is Chicks Tape 5. A lot of people, man, for as long as it took, and I understand why it took so long now, because of the samples, because of all the clearance he probably had to get, it was top 3. It was top 3 Chicks Tapes. I would say it's top 3 Chicks Tapes. A lot of the samples, though, you know, kind of took over instead of the track taking over. What I mean by that is, you know, the nostalgia factor. A lot of the tracks that we hear, you know, 112 he had in there. He had a Jagged Edge in there, you know, having Ashanti. Having all these tracks, but I felt like the soul and the flip wasn't there as much as the previous Chicks Tapes than on this. I felt like there was more of the production and nostalgic factor that took over with this, because a lot of people just saying, damn, it's that Ja Rule song, I haven't heard this in a while, or damn, it's that Jagged Edge shit, I haven't heard this in a while. I think that's what really carried the album. Now, I'm not gonna lie, tracks like Jerry Sprunger, Blowing Minds, we know that's fire. What was another one that he had that was just pure? The Dream track, that was another one that everybody loved. You guys understand that, man. People that were, you know, in high school at the time. I was in high school when, you know, when The Dream came out, and, you know, Jagged Edge. I was probably, you know, I was late middle school at that point. These are all tracks that we are going to love. When you hear that beat, you're instantly going to get chills, because you can you know, attach that memory, attach that moment in your life. You can sit back and it's like, damn, I remember when I was on that generator, sitting back, you know, talking to this girl and Jagged Edge was playing and, you know, like shit like that. So I always tell people, man, it's all about the memories, and that's why I think that Chicks tape hit me so hard initially, but over time it just kind of just faded out for me, at least. Jaden Harris. I had mixed feelings about this album because where it had highs, it had very lows. The highs being, you know, Summertime in Paris, K. What was the track that he had? I forgot, that had the amazing slowed and I got it right here, man. Hold on. Again had the transition towards the end where it was really fire slow. He just really had a lot of fillers, I would say, in this album. His PINK though was better than BLUE, I would give you that. I just don't know, man. Like, something about this album was missing. I feel it was more of, you know, an identity was missing in Eris, more than, because in Sire I felt like he had his own shit. Sire, he wanted to, you know, create this vibrant, you know, eerie, moody, you know, dragged out kind of sound. You know, very haunting, I would say, too. A lot of those tracks were just very, like, seductive. You know, we get into tracks like, you know what I'm saying, Fallen, and we get into tracks like, what was another track that was really crazy? I had a medieval sound. Had to hit the guitar notes. You know, I can't. The Passion. There we go. The Passion. We had that one. 90 was another one that just kind of just felt like you were really dreaming. I feel like for this album right here, it was more in your face. You know what I'm saying? A lot of in your face. Now, I'm not gonna lie. Summertime in Paris was really cool. Very subtle. Very chill. I loved having Willow on there as well. Having the Smiths on there, kind of join forces. That was kind of cool. But I just felt like there was just a lot with PIN and then K, even the end of K, just being very aggressive, the bass hitting. I just felt like there was more of that. And while I do know that Jaden can kind of rap, he made Icon, he can rap, I've come accustomed to liking more of his chill shit. That's just what I like about him, his chill shit. Alright, the better of the Logic projects this year, Supermarket. A lot of people are probably going to give me flack for saying that I liked Logic's Supermarket, but you can say what you want, man, but I feel like this was a breath of fresh air, especially coming from Logic, man. We got the last three projects, Young Sinatra 4, Everybody, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, and I don't know, man. There's something for me that has been missing. You know, of course, when Logic makes a great track, I'm going to love it. He just made, what was it? Ballin' with the Team with Down to Earth. That's my shit. He just made the No Pressure freestyle. That was my shit. Look, when Logic hits, he hits. But when he misses, man, he misses hard. And for him to make this kind of pop album, a lot of people saying he was copying Mac DeMarco. Look, we all have influences somewhere. I don't think he made a straight ripoff of Mac DeMarco. There's probably a little bit of influence there. But you guys always find something to hate on Logic for. And for me, I don't have any reason lying. I put Confessions of a Dangerous Mind on my worst albums of the year. I don't have a problem with that. But right here, this project was solid. I mean, I still listen to DeLorean. I still listen to Can We Kick It? I still listen to a couple of those tracks from Supermarket. And even for it to be just a Supermarket album or, you know, a soundtrack, that was one of the coolest albums I've heard from Logic in a while. And I said this when I did the video. I feel like as time goes on, people are going to, like, they're going to hate, just like what happened with Yeezus. I'm not saying it's not as groundbreaking as Yeezus, but they're going to hate on the album initially. And when all the shit talking can finally fly by and people can just, you know, open up and appreciate music instead of, you know, critiquing it so hard, they're going to be like, you know what, this is one of Logic's best projects. You know, this is one of the most chillest projects I've heard from Logic, where he was kind of just trying something new, experiencing and having fun. And I think you guys will love it as you listen to it a little bit more longer, all right? Kind of same thing what I had with Blood Orange. That's why he's on my wall right now. I did not like Blood Orange's album initially. And there it is right there. Like, all right, the two albums that almost made my top 10 right here. These are two albums that almost made my top 10 but didn't really have a spot. The first one is Schoolboy Q, Crash Talk. I think the problem with this album was it just came out too early. I think that's really what it is. I think that maybe the effect of having it being one of the first albums to drop hurt me because it's been out for so long. I have had so long to sit on it, and I love 8 tracks in there. I love that track that he had where he was like, it was kind of drunk with Black, you know, kind of having a drunk perspective but still rapping, and then that doom 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 doom. I love the production on there. We get tracks like Crash Talk. We get there. Gang Gang was another one that was really fire. You know, Schoolboy Q just doing Schoolboy Q, mixing the West Coast sound but still having a lot of, you know, 808s hitting. I fucking love the tape, man. Like, the tape was fire. I just felt like there was 10 other tapes that was better than it, and they're also still fresher. A lot of people were saying that Schoolboy made a bad album. He missed. I don't think he really missed. I think what happened was people were just expecting, you know, the most fire Schoolboy tape we've gotten after we got Blank Face LP 2 years ago. Everybody was just like, that shit was, you know, supreme fire. And I think they kind of just used that to shadow their appreciation for, you know, Crash Talk. That's what I think, at least, you know, for me. But he has some bangers on there. I mean, Dangerous is also another track on there that I really love. That was just like with you know, the hums from Kid Cudi. You know, you know, I fuck with that. I don't understand why people hate it on the tape. Maybe it's a little bit different now. That's what it was initially when I did the reaction. Get in the comments below, man. Let me hear how you feel about that. I want to hear how you feel about Schoolboy Q tape after we got it 10 months later. And the last album that I want to mention, this close to making my top 10 albums of the year, would have to be Post Malone's album. Post Malone's album, Hollywood Bleeding, I think it was called. Yeah. Hollywood's Bleeding, I would say, is Post Malone's best work to date. A lot of people like to say, oh, well, Stony enters the chat. Or, you know, a lot of people like to, you know, say his last one. I forget what his last one was even called, because it's the third one out of the three. I think that this one was his overall best album. I think this was his best sound. He wasn't trying to be a rapper. You know, it was a lot of pop sound that he had in here. You know, the track with SZA was fire. One of my favorite tracks on here, and of the year as well, I will give you a little spoiler, was the Ozzy Osbourne track and Travis Scott. You know, I love that track. I just love how the fucking guitar riffs were going in there. I feel like Travis Scott being on a rock track, it was a new feel for him. I feel like, you know, that could be a new lane for La Flame to go into. Another track we got in there was Halsey and Future. Don't you die for me, you die for me, you die for me. Like, I fuck with that one. That one aged really well for me, because initially I was kind of figuring out, you know, I was enjoying myself, but I was like, is this going to last? And indeed, it did last, man. It was so far, man, from start to finish. I feel like even the title track, Hollywood's Bleeding, was even a great track, man. Like, he had a lot of fire going into that. And Beer Bongs and Bentleys, that's what it was called. I couldn't think about it. From Beer Bongs and Bentley being as long as it was, this was the perfect mix, man. I think they only had about 3 bad songs on here. And for it to be Post's best album, it should have been on my top 10. But when you get to my top 10, you're going to see why it couldn't be on there. I mean, that's just how I feel about it. A great album for Post Malone. I'm glad. I think he broke another record again, you know, for sales. Everybody loves Post Malone. I get it. It's sad, because I really was going to make a top 11 video, but I thought that was going to be kind of corny. So I did it last year. A lot of people got mad at me. Well, I mean, I was kind of, you know, I'll make an even number for the OCD people out there. I get it. But man, hey, this has been my honorable mentions of the year. I only have 10 on here. These are my honorable mentions of the year. Didn't quite make my top 10 list, but still great albums in itself. Still one of my favorite listens of the year when I did listen to them on video. You guys can go search for them. Just put Meami and then put Post Malone. It'll pop up. You'll be probably the first 4 there. Anyways, even though 2019 wasn't a great year as 2018, it still had gems of its own, man. We still had highlights. You guys introduced me to Cowboy. FKA Twigs gave us this fire, man. You got Rotti Rich. I'm so happy that you guys showed me the Rotti Rich. I'm so glad I didn't sleep before the year was over. I will get that video out to you guys as well. You know, Schoolboy Q, 2 Chainz. You can't be mad at that. Another Chicks tape. I think that we really can't be mad at this year, man. We got to take it for what it is, and we got to enjoy it. So that's all I got to say about that, man. Get in the comments below, man. Let me know what was your favorite. I got the pen. I've been flicking the pen. My old ADHD kicking in, man. Let me know what was your favorite projects of the year, or, you know, not your quite favorites, but kind of just, you know, projects that you enjoyed this year. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Remember, this is my opinion, so don't be mad about it. Again, this is my opinion, so don't be mad about it, man. Don't forget, follow me on social media. Let me know what you want to hear. Get the video to 3,000 likes, like always. We get new vinyl on the wall. Look, we got 2 new vinyls down there, man. Hashtag, what are those vinyls? I know you should still be able to see them, but let me know what those vinyls are. Hashtag what those vinyls are. And we're going to fill this wall up, man. Look, this is what you guys did all this year. These are 3,000 each likes, bro. Come on, man. That's over 15, that's over 15 to 20,000 likes that you guys got on videos, man. I just want to say thank you guys for the love, man. And look, whatever you got going on in life, remember, someone has it worse than you. I haven't been doing the tips on the end of the video, but this is my tip. Whatever you have going on in life, remember, someone has it worse than you. So pick your head up, try to fix your situation, do whatever you can. Stay positive. Always stay positive, man. That's the one thing I got to preach on. Stay positive. As soon as you get in your own head, as soon as you start going negative, that's when the road starts winding down, and it can lead you to hell. That's all I'm going to say about that, man. Hey, positivity. That's all I'm speaking on, man. Till next time, we are out. Peace.